Correctly. So Nations Champions, also Nations Cup. So it's your top 24 teams in the world who will go head-to-head. And for the top-tier nations, it is the Six Nation teams up against the Rugby Championship teams. Nick Mallett, Robbie Kempson, gentlemen, lots happened this week, Kempo. You look at it, Nations Champions Cup, Nations this, just too much rugby, or is this the way forward? Is it exciting? What is it?
Can never be too much rugby, but I think Nick would be chatting a bit earlier, maybe too much international rugby. Where does it leave the franchise system? If we're having all these matches, which all of us are going to want to watch, and there's actually an outcome at the end of it now, at the end of November. So, yeah, where does it all fit in?
Yeah, it's the one good thing about it is it makes the July tour and our tour to the Northern Hemisphere relevant. Every single match counts, bonus points, etc. And you try to finish number one in the Southern Hemisphere. You play against number one in the Northern Hemisphere in a playoff weekend where number six plays their number six, and we go right up to number one playing number one. So it's reasonably exciting. But if you look at it this year, those are 6 games that we'll play in July and in November. And then I think we've got 4 against New Zealand already, so that's 10. Presumably we'll have a warm-up game before New Zealand and maybe Australia and Argentina, trying to keep them in the mix. So what'll be 10, 13 games. It is difficult because you have the camps that Rassie takes the Springboks away, alignment camps, and that can impact on the franchises as well. So we need a global season. We all know that. It's a question of when that's going to happen.
Well, it's Champions Cup at the moment. 6 nations up against the rugby champs. So ultimately, it is a way in between Rugby World Cups where the North have got a chance to win something. That's how I see it.
Give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, if you take it in present form, you'd think England would probably get through for grand finale that they're going to play. And certainly you'd think South Africa would have got through this year as well. And that would have actually set up a very talk about Ireland being mouthwatering, it would also be mouthwatering. Both fix on a high, as Nick well knows, thinks that England are perhaps world beaters at this present time. But it does give us a lot of international and quality international rugby throughout the year.
No, guys, when it gets to that finals weekends, I'm very concerned. The Friday, the Saturday and Sunday. I mean, you've got 4th place, who's interested in that? 5th place, who's interested in that? If anything, you want to know who the top 2 teams. I'm not too sure what's happening in World Rugby at the moment. 3rd place, I mean, who watches that, gents? So again, we're going the right direction as rugby, but somehow we can't implement. It's almost like the laws of the game. We're trying to make them safe and everything, but then this weekend we're saying there's a chance for refs to go full red, and they're all going for full red when we don't need it. Again, we need something, whereby maybe your second-tier teams, because Japan's invited, Fiji's invited, but again, it's like, who's going to watch 5th?
They will. At the moment we've got a sort of Wales against Japan, and we still watch it. I mean, those aren't great. They're not great playing teams at the moment. They're enthusiastic, but Wales was a great team, but they're poor now.
Should they be playing in this?
Well, it's the 6 nations against the Southern Hemisphere. So it's just a way in which people talk all the time about, is the Northern Hemisphere stronger? I think they've got 85% of the money in rugby is in the Northern Hemisphere, and only 15% is in the Southern. That's why a lot of our best players go up north to earn cash. So this gives you a very good way in which you can define in the year that you play this competition who's number one. Is it South Africa, or is it going to be France, Ireland, or England? Because you're going to be playing a final against them. And we can measure how New Zealand have done against the Northern Hemisphere teams, and how Australia does, how Argentina does, and vice versa. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I quite like it. And also, I really like the fact that it'll stop France sending a B and C team to New Zealand and undermine what I'm sure the New Zealanders were looking forward to. They feel they're number 2 in the world at that time, and they were playing against France, who were the Six Nations champions. And then they bring a B and C team, and it devalues the matches.
Then there's a cup, whereby the likes of Zimbabwe, Georgia, who've been outstanding, Romania, all those guys, but they only play in July, but nothing for them end of the year. So where does World Rugby look to grow the game? Because what we saw previous in the Rugby World Cup was, your tier 2 nations couldn't quite compete against the likes of South Africa, so they always get big scores. And you get a Portugal now and again who'll put their hands up, but we need these teams to get to par, whereby in the next 50 years, Rugby World Cup is as close to a football World Cup where anybody can win it, not your top tier 8 team.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. They're only playing in the June-July break, where they should be playing at the end of the season as well. And you can almost earmark your 1 to 15, 16 top teams in the world. But they've got to play more consistently against tougher opposition, which they're not currently doing. Unless they're playing the top 6, 7 sides year in, year out, it's going to be very difficult for them to climb the ladder.
Yeah, I think there is going to be promotion relegation in the third. So it's going to be 26, it's going to be 28, and then
After
30, 2030, and in 2030 there's going to be a promotion relegation. So there's a possibility to get out of the B section. But I do agree with Robbie and you, Owen, that it's no good playing against someone of your equivalent level. You need to play against a top team so you understand the steps you've got to take to improve.
All right, so in the promotion relegation happens after 2 cycles of this, as you said. I think it's 2026, 2028. So 2030 or so, we'll have the promotion relegation. Maybe Russia will be strong by then. Maybe England will be weak. Because that's the reality of a promotion relegation.
Yeah.
So much could happen. If World Rugby is going to follow through with that, I doubt. Because Tier 1 nations and Tier 2, there's always a big divide. Big news as well.